Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Wicked Bitter channel. I'm Travis. Thank you for checking out this video. If you are somebody who is new to this channel, thank you for clicking this video and giving it a chance. If you are a WWE fan, which, let's be honest, if you click this video, you are, subscribe to this channel, like this video for more WWE content. We are posting weekly. We come out with reviews and reactions to Raw, SmackDown, PLEs, and then we do something that I love, which is the email videos. It's a very cool thing that we do here. You send in your emails of your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas, your predictions about the product, about WWE, and I make a video answering them, and I post them for everybody to see, and we can all get along and talk together in the comment section, and it's a very good time. So, and that video will be coming out soon, actually. So, yeah, let's get into the video today. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. By the way, speaking of these email videos, I am coming out with one. I'm sorry for the delay. It will be out. I will be posting it on Wednesday. And if it's not there on Wednesday, at the very latest, Thursday. But I fully expect it to be there Wednesday. You know, this past weekend, I just had a bunch of car problems. It's the holidays. It's craziness around this time of the year. So I'm sorry that I haven't posted it. I know I mentioned it, but I have gotten emails, so that's a good thing. I will be making a video, and I will be posting me opening these emails and reading them and all that kind of cool stuff. So look out for that video on Wednesday. Let's get into Monday Night Raw. It starts out with our World Heavyweight Champion, and how slick does our World Heavyweight Champion Gunther look? I mean, this guy looks like $1 million. He looks like he should be the World Heavyweight Champion for all of time. He comes out and he's about to cut a promo on Damian Priest. He mentions Priest's name, and Priest's song hits, comes out. Priest has like this really big attitude on him today for some reason. He was just very angry at Gunther. Got a Bad Bunny shirt on, by the way. Is this a little foreshadowing? Is this are they trying to tell us that Bad Bunny is going to be here soon, or is it just like a coincidence that he's just wearing Bad Bunny's shirt tour? I don't know. Cool nonetheless. He's out there talking to Gunther. He mentions, which I thought was a really cool, weird. It was cool and weird of an angle to take here, where he is talking about Gunther's like confidence and Gunther like losing his vibe, losing his steam over the past few months, and especially after SummerSlam when he lost, at Crown Jewel when he lost to Cody Rhodes. And the look on Gunther's face, he's playing it so well. It's like he's like doubting himself, but he's also trying to convince himself that he hasn't lost his vibe or his edge or whatever you want to call it. He's like shaking his head no and telling Priest no, and then Kaiser interrupts, and Kaiser's talking trash to Priest, saying, you know, Gunther's already beaten you before, you know, he's fine, you better get out of this ring, all that kind of stuff. Kaiser gets in the ring, he's talking more trash. And then Gunther puts his hand on Kaiser's microphone, and he starts talking to Kaiser very aggressively, like pointing in his chest. And I'm like, you know, between last week, his little backstage talk with Kaiser, and then this week, are they teasing a split here between Kaiser and Gunther? I feel like that might be coming soon, but Kaiser goes to look over at Raw. He steps back and he continues on with the trash talking. He looks over at Priest. Priest hits him in the face, ends up hitting him out of the ring. And when Priest turns around, Gunther looked like he was about to attack him, but he kind of like stepped back a little bit, and then nothing happened. So weird. Gunther like kind of like shook his head no after Priest like took off his jacket. And he's like, "Come on, let's go." Gunther ended up backing out, leaving the ring, and yeah, that's the way that went. That very interesting to make Gunther look like he's I guess nervous or doubting himself here against Priest. And Priest looked good. Priest had a pretty good promo. I'm going to be honest with you guys, though. I like Damian Priest, but I don't know if I'm actually like that big of a fan of Damian Priest. I don't know. It's weird. I like him, but I don't know. Something about him just doesn't fully connect with me. I don't know what it is. I think sometimes his promos seem like he's trying to be a little too like New York, a little too aggressive, like it's almost forced in a way. He's all right. I don't mind him. It's just, I don't know. I feel like there's one or two things missing with him for me to fully be like, I can get on board with this guy. We go straight to a backstage segment where Kathy Kelly is interviewing Damage Control, and Dakota Kai pops up on all of our screens, and she got a pretty good pop. So Dakota Kai is back. Very happy to see that. They have a match coming up. It's a 6-woman tag match against the PFC, and you could just imagine how excited I am to cover that match. Damage Control defeats PFC. We get The Usos and Sami Zayn backstage. I mean, I'll tell you, I love the chemistry these three have with one another. It's always been so great, and it continues to be that way. So Sami is happy to see Jay. You know, they're doing their handshake. And then Jimmy comes walking in, and Sami gets very, like, straight-faced. And, you know, Jimmy and Sami clearly still can't get along here. Jay is trying to play peacemaker. Hey, look, we just got to get on the same page. And Sami's like, you know what? You're right. Jimmy, you look great. I like your necklace. I was like, what are we doing here? Jimmy doesn't have a compliment to give back to Sami. And then Sami looks at Jay. I think that was pretty funny. But the key thing here with this backstage segment, which I really wanted to dive into, and I don't even know if I have enough time in this video, but Jimmy tells Jay and Sami that they need a fifth person. I don't know why we need a fifth person for the Wargames. I guess it's going to be 5-on-5. I think there were doubts before. People were speculating. I didn't think they needed a fifth person for each team. I would have been completely fine if it was 4 versus 4. I still think that's the way they should go, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So, I guess they're going 5-on-5. So now this is going to make everybody go crazy here and come up with all these different scenarios of who should join and who should be the fifth member on both sides. I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and I'm just going to say, before anybody comes at me and says they think The Rock will join Solos, I don't think The Rock is going to be in this Wargames match. Now, I don't necessarily not think that The Rock won't show up at Survivor Series, and if that was too weird of combobulated way of saying it, I don't think The Rock will not be at Survivor Series. I think The Rock, there's a chance he will be at Survivor Series. I just don't think he'll be in a match. You know, he might do what he did at Bad Blood, where he just appears after the match and kind of just signals or does something. But I don't know. I don't see The Rock in War Games. The way I think of it right away, right out of the gate, the only two people, if we're going to do 5-on-5, I think the only two people that right now make any shred of sense to me, and it's not even that much sense, but because of everything considered here, I'm going to say Cody Rhodes joins Roman's match, and I don't love that idea. I don't like it. And I'm going to say just by default, Kevin Owens joins Solo's side. Even though Kevin does not like the Bloodline, I don't know how they're going to do it. He might just begrudgingly join just because he wants to attack Cody. I don't know how they would do it. But those are the only two guys right now that make sense to me. Randy got written off. Kevin needs something to do. Kevin has attacked Cody a couple of months ago backstage. To me, that's where I think we're going. I think it's Cody with, you know, Roman's Bloodline, and then I think Owens with Solos. And to be honest, having a showdown of Owens and Sami on opposite sides in War Games is a pretty cool thing. I like that idea. That part I like. And then it also raises the idea of, will Sami Zayn turn on the Bloodline? That's just my immediate thoughts, and that's predictions for afterwards. I'll have a video separate for that, but I don't know. That's the only thing that makes sense to me right now. A match I didn't really want to get into because it's not really significant, I don't feel like. But Kofi Kingston loses to Pete Dunne. During this match, Kofi gets Pete Dunne outside of the ring after hitting him with an SOS, and Xavier Woods ends up hitting a clothesline on Pete Dunne on the outside of the ring when the referee wasn't looking. But Kofi saw it. Kofi gets out of the ring. He gets mad at Woods, saying, "Why did you do that?" Woods tells him he needs to focus. Kofi gets back in the ring, and then Dunne hits the bittersweet. What is it? The bittersweet ending, and he wins the match. And then after the match, Kofi and Woods are just arguing more and more and more. Continuing this whole thing with Kofi and Woods. This has been going on for a while now. We're gonna have to get to the point. We have to get to where we're gonna get to. I think they're just dragging it along so they can get to the part where it's the anniversary of the New Day on Raw, or whenever they choose to do it, when Big E's gonna be there. And then I think that's ultimately where somebody turns on someone, and everybody thinks it's Woods. But for me, I want to go against the grain. I want to say it's Kofi, even though it probably will be Woods the way they're teasing it. But I think a cool curveball would be Kofi turning heel, and That's that for right now. They're going to keep teasing this every week until we get that anniversary special on Raw or whatever it is. How about this that happened backstage? Judgment Day, Finn Balor, clearly upset, not in a good mood. He ends up calling out Dominik pretty much on the way Dominik has been the past few weeks, couple of weeks or whatever. Finn Balor is not happy that Damian Priest is now the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, Dom lost the match last week. He got pinned by Priest. Dom's retaliation to what Finn said was he's beaten Priest before, and then he's gotten closer to the World Heavyweight Championship than Finn ever has. And so these two get in each other's face. It gets, split up by the rest of the Judgment Day, telling everybody to calm down. Finn says, I'm calm. He ends up volunteering Carlito and Dom to face the War Raiders next week. Dom says he's going to go make it official. And Finn says, yeah, just one big happy family. I don't know. We're teasing something here. I've seen reports that Finn is going to be breaking away from the Judgment Day and either coming up with another faction of his own or just going alone. I love that. I want that because I want Balor back in the main title picture and let the rest of the Judgment Day figure out things on their own. If that's what's going to happen, I'm all for it. If not, I don't know what the real tension they're teasing is here, but it's got to be a split up somehow down the road. I'm going to quickly get through this. First of all, Bronson Reed has a new shirt, and I want it. That shirt looks amazing. I need that shirt like yesterday. But Bronson Reed comes out to the ring, calls out Seth Rollins, says, hey, if you want to get your revenge on me, I'm right here. You know where you can find me, kind of thing. Seth comes out with a microphone as if he's about to talk. He ends up dropping the microphone, rushing down to the ring, and these two men brawl. And then again, we get the whole split up here by like the officials, and Adam Pearce comes running out. Again, Adam Pearce has no control over his show. They all get split up. We go to commercial. When we come back from commercial, Seth Rollins is like yelling at Pearce. He wants the match again. He wants to face Reed again. So Pearce makes it official for next week. We're going to get Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed yet again, and it's going to be next week on Raw. It's going to be a good match. We all know that. I just don't think it should be a one-on-one. I want to see like a no DQ, something here. Last man standing, something. Give us something cool here between these two, but they're facing each other next week. But the interesting part was Sami Zayn coming up to Seth Rollins and talking to Seth, pretty much asking him to be the fifth guy of the team, saying that he knows that Seth knows Roman really well, and that even though Sami has had his issues with the Bloodline, that there's still that whole family bond type deal that's always going to be there, and he says that's the same thing for Seth and Roman. And then Seth pretty much shuts it down completely. He says he's shocked that anybody would want to stand side by side with Roman Reigns, especially Sami Zayn. And he pretty much shuts it down, walks away, so Seth's not going to be the guy. At least that's what they're trying to tell us anyway. So Sami gets shut down there. I think earlier we saw Jay talking to Rey Mysterio in the background. Of course, you would think that's him trying to talk to Rey about being the fifth man. I don't know if that's going to work. So, we could see the Bloodline here going around talking to people, seeing who could be the fifth man. And so far, they're striking out all over the place. Quick little thing, Damian Priest beats Kaiser in a one-on-one match. After the match, Gunther appears on stage. He's got that same look on his face, the same look of like worry, doubt, nervousness. And he looks at Priest for a brief minute, and then he turns around and walks away. So they're building this up by showing that maybe Gunther's kind of second-guessing himself, doubting himself going into this match. But ultimately, without giving away my predictions right now, I think Gunther's still going to win this match against Priest. Very interesting what we got here backstage. People have been asking where Braun Breaker is. The past couple of weeks, they've been in Saudi. Breaker didn't go up there for the trip. He didn't have a match at Crown Jewel, and then the following week was Raw, and he probably wasn't even there for Raw because he didn't travel to Saudi. There was no point for him to. That's where Breaker has been. He's been at home waiting for them to get back to the States. So he's here. Didn't perform tonight, but he had a backstage segment with Sheamus. Sheamus walks up to Breaker after Breaker was talking a little trash about him, and we get an Intercontinental Championship match for the next week. It'll be Sheamus versus Breaker. That's a title that Sheamus has never won. That's the only title he's never won, and he's going to get his shot against Breaker next week. Breaker says he's going to beat his old ass. I thought that was pretty funny. Sheamus says that that title is coming home with him next week. There we go. Short and simple, sweet, it works. That's going to be a great match next week. But it's after Sheamus left where it was interesting. Jimmy Uso comes up to Braun Breaker and he asks him if he's got a minute to talk. And Breaker says, yes, I do. So I thought this was interesting because Jey Uso talked to Rey, two baby faces. Sami Zayn talked to Seth, two baby faces. Interesting that Jimmy Uso came to talk to Braun Breaker, which I guess, if we're going to say it, these two are both heels. So it's like WWE is kind of showing us that Jimmy is still playing that heel character, or else why would he be talking to another heel asking for the help? So I thought that was kind of interesting. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I don't think it's a coincidence. I think this was planned out purposely. Like, I think they're trying to show us that Jimmy is maybe not a great guy, or he's still got that heel side to him here. Talking to Breaker, I don't think Breaker will be the fifth guy, but who knows? It would maybe make sense because he speared Solo, or he got involved. Solo got involved in his IC match, and Fatu went face to face with Breaker. If we get a Fatu and Breaker face to face in a Wargames match, I'm gonna lose it. That's gonna be amazing. Karrion Kross comes up to Miz backstage, he asking where the Wyatts are at. Miz says that he's a changed man. He says he wants to put this all behind him. He wants to move on. He tells Kross to move on. Miz says that, he told the Wyatts that he's a changed man. He's a better man now. He's sorry for everything. And, he wants to move on from the Wyatts. They let him go, all that kind of stuff. Karrion Kross says, no. Is Paul Ellering going to move on? He's still gone. He's out of action. And that's because of you. So, Kross makes the AOP, bring Miz down to the ring. They all get in there. Miz somehow in the scuffle has a bloody eye, which looked cool on TV, but I'm sure Miz was just like, ow, the whole time. But Kross shoves Miz down, asks where the Wyatts are. The lights go out. The Wyatts show up, and Miz is not in the ring. The Wyatts get in the ring, and then from behind, Miz with a chair hits Rowan, and it's clear here that Miz and Kross came up with this whole thing. It was a setup to get the Wyatts in the ring, and then ultimately, Karrion Kross, Miz, Final Testament, all beat up the Wyatts in the ring, and they leave. They're, Miz and Kross hug. Everything's all good now. They leave the ring, and then when they leave the ring, Uncle Howdy is left in the ring just laughing while looking at Kross, trying to freak him out. I thought that was pretty cool. I'm okay with this feud. It's not the best or the biggest or the most important, but there's something here. We can do something with this. I'm not against it. Not everything can be a home run. Not everything can be a main event type level, feud or match on Raw or SmackDown or whatever. This is perfectly fine. And I like that Kross is doing something. I've actually liked this whole character Kross has been playing lately. So this is cool. I'm with it. I don't know how Miz still factors into any of this, but he's here for the ride, I guess. And I don't know what happens to Miz after this feud, but we're going to see. For right now, we're going to enjoy it for what it is. But pretty cool. Nice little setup. Good thing there, Howdy laughing at the end. We got something here. We get Seth Rollins being interviewed backstage by Kathy Kelly when Seth Rollins notices Solo Sikoa. All of a sudden, all these superstars can just go whatever show they want, apparently. Solo Sikoa tries to recruit Seth Rollins to be the fifth member of his team. Rollins says, hey, let me be clear here. I never want to team up with Roman Reigns ever again. Next time I see him, I'm going to stomp his head into the ground. And Solo's loving it. He's like, yeah, all right, cool. That's who I want. And Seth goes, but I will never team up with Roman Reigns, and I'll never team up with a Roman Reigns wannabe. And then when he said that, Jacob Fatu kind of went up to Seth Rollins. These two went kind of face to face here, but Solo had to hold Jacob back. So give me Seth Rollins versus Jacob Fatu. At this point, I want to see Fatu versus everybody. I don't even care who it is. But Seth versus Fatu would be an awesome match. Seth ends up walking away. So Seth doesn't want anything to do with this Wargames match. He doesn't want to be a part of Solo's team or Roman's team. It's just what it is. Maybe they bring him in to kind of swerve us later on in the end, but I actually don't think he's going to be involved in this match. Jade and Bianca in the main event retain their tag team championships against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, despite Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton showing up and getting involved in this match. Naomi got involved in this match. So all of a sudden now, all of these SmackDown superstars can just come to Raw and do whatever the hell they want. I don't understand. But Jade and Bianca win this match. After the match, Nia tries to attack Jade and Bianca, but Io Sky comes out and makes the save just by herself without the rest of Damage Control. And then the good guys end up beating up the bad guys. So at the end, it's Jade, Bianca, Io Sky, and Naomi standing tall in the ring. And, I found it very strange at the end here when Io Sky was like hugging Jade and like shaking hands with Bianca. Like these two teams were just feuding pretty hardcore. a couple of weeks ago, like before Crown Jewel. Like Damage Control versus Jade and Bianca was a thing, and that's when Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson got involved. So I thought it was odd now that all of a sudden EO is just like super happy and like hugging like Jade and Bianca. Strange, but Damage Control clearly are baby faces now. They proved it earlier when they beat PFC and the chance they were getting, and they're all smiley now and all that kind of stuff. So, but that's how the show ends, with those four standing tall in the ring, and maybe that's a tease of Wargames for the women, maybe? Who knows? I think that might be what we get for the Wargames match for the women. That makes sense to me, I guess. EO just being thrown in there, but whatever, it works. Yeah, that's it for Monday Night Raw. It was a pretty solid show. I had some good moments. Had some moments where I was kind of like, okay. But yeah, you guys let me know what you thought about Monday Night Raw. Leave it in the comments. I appreciate you guys always supporting this channel and commenting and emailing. And speaking of the emails, I haven't forgot. It's coming out. Like I said earlier, I will be making the video tomorrow, and it will be coming out on Wednesday. And if somehow that doesn't get through, then Thursday it'll be out. But most likely it'll be Wednesday, barring any, internet problems or whatever, which shouldn't happen. But I'm just letting you guys know. Wednesday or Thursday, that will be out, so check it out. Until then, my friends, please like this video. Please share this video with anybody you know that loves wrestling. And if you're new and if you made it this far, I appreciate it. Please subscribe to this channel. It'll help me big time. I want to get a bunch of people in here. I want to grow the numbers of the show, of this channel. I want to get as many wrestling fans on here as possible. Until we eat again, my friends, have a good rest of your week. I will see you in the next video. And as always, stay bitter.